Hello and welcome to Voices of the Community. My name is Mitch Priestley. I'm your host today. We're in the studio right now with the band Joy Regime. And the members of that band are Julie Williams, Chuck Curry, Kevin Haregrove, and Mark River. Julie, Chuck, everyone, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
As we discuss Joy Regime, why don't we begin with a little bit of insight and understanding into its origin story. Tell me, how did you meet and how did this band get started?
Well, it was with the song Waterline, actually. I wrote that on my birthday, January 29th, 2022. And I was looking for some keys, and so I got on Craigslist and started looking for a keyboard player to assist with it, and Chuck responded.
I did. Responded, and Julie sent me a little guitar and voice demo, and then I said, how does this sound after a 24-hour production?
And then I asked him if he would start playing music with me full-time, but he said no.
I don't recall that.
No, you were playing with another band at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And then right around that time, when it just started getting going, I heard that Chuck was doing auditions for drummers left and right, and nothing seemed to stick, so I threw my pair of sticks in, finally. And yeah, I mean, it was like dynamite after that. By the time I was there, Mark got there. Well, he was already there, excuse me.
Yeah, so we just kind of all came together there in, I think that was, 2022?
Yeah,
That
July of
summer,
22.
fall. And we just started making, because we write our own music, so we wanted to get enough original music put together that we could play out and play, shows, which takes time when you're just a brand new band and working on material. So we spent a good 6, 8, 10 months writing songs and practicing a lot. It's been a lot of fun.
My husband knew every song there was for us because he was upstairs listening to us while we practiced at our house.
That's great. Well, let's talk about one of your songs in particular. I'm thinking of the song Face to Face. It has some particularly beautiful lyrics. Now, my understanding, Chuck, is that you wrote that song. Perhaps you could tell us the inspiration for Face to Face and what was going through your head as you put that together.
The inspiration was basically because of the rhetoric and the hatred and bigotry and animosity going on in our world. And so this song is a statement of asking people to, stop and listen to each other, and let's try to work through differences.
Great. Well, we're going to go ahead and hear that performance right now. And so this is Joy Regime performing Face to Face.
Just say we agree that we disagree.
Excellent. Well, a lot of groups will have maybe one lyricist or perhaps a couple of songwriters, but here we have at least 3 people in this small band who are writers. How do you make that work?
Dropbox.
Dropbox. Yeah, we just, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
I say it's actually been a lot of fun because we all have very different styles and have played in, a variety of different types of bands and listened to a lot of different kind of music. And so for me, it's been really fun that Chuck will come forward with an idea or Julie will have a song idea. And it could even just be a snippet. It could be 10 or 20 seconds. Hey, I've got this little riff, or I've got here's a chorus I've been playing around with. And we'll just chew on it, kick them back and forth, and Kevin might find some cool rhythm that goes with it. And next thing you know, it comes into a song. And I think that's why our music is quite a wide variety of genres kind of mixed together and blended in. And we don't like to put ourselves in a box. We just call it indie rock, but it's a variety. Each song might be ranged from country to jazz to pop to folk and to metal-ish, and so that's really a lot of fun. So we just work together, I think, with our songwriting, try to listen to each other, and helpful criticism when we need it, and we end up with something that we all enjoy.
Well, maybe we could get a little more on the song Running. As a main lyricist and lyrics writer, Julie, when you wrote the song, you've also said it's an accountability song of some sort. Can you elaborate on what you mean by this?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Yeah, so human beings were made for communication, and I think that a lot of times people have a hard time being honest with each other and communicating. So, with running, I was when I was in 5th grade, the pastor of our church had said to me, "Well, does it ring true?" And so those words have always kind of stuck with me. Those are some of the lyrics in the song. And I think really, running was just getting back to people, running back to people to let them know. Although I was working in my best intentions, I didn't have all the information, and I hurt you, and I'm sorry. And I think that we don't see enough forgiving, in the world. And I think we see a lot of quiet quitting when it comes to relationships. So I figure if I'm going to, write something, I want to write something that has meaning and purpose. So that was the kind of the gist of that song when I was putting that together.
And we also tried to put a few musical motifs that maybe feel high energy and like you are running or being chased or something like that into the song. So.
Terrific. Well, let's give that song a listen right now. This is Joy Regime performing Running.
But I got
Awesome. Well, let's go to Kevin and talk about Curtain of Light.
Yeah.
That's quite a musical composition that you and Mark have going on there. Can you tell us about how that came about?
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster to say the least, and I'm sure you could hear that in the music. But Mark originally had these I would say almost hard rock riffs, and he came to us with it, and he was really trying to make them work, but it was lacking some subtlety, to say the least, originally. So when I got to it, at the very least, it was just the fast guitars, and I tried my best to make it work, but it was almost not quite Joy Regime in its own way, yet, anyway. And then Chuck, thankfully, he was smart enough to say, well, hang on, I have this other idea. And then the two ideas slowly blended together, and it kind of became this, almost its own entity. And it was so special. As soon as Julie put the lyrics on there, it was amazing. I mean, we knew almost immediately. It took some time to reel in, but yeah.
Actually, Kevin or Mark and I went back and forth on those lyrics. Remember, Mark? I sent some stuff to you, and you said, "How about try this here?" And
It's kind of a combination.
Yeah, maybe you could speak to that, Mark, on how the poetic lyrics came to be.
Yeah, well, Julie had this idea of the curtain of light. That was her idea, I guess, conceptually. And when I thought of curtain of light, I thought, well, there's also darkness where you have light. And so that's where we have some of the lyrics on, these irrational fears and kind of maybe trying to emerge from the darkness. We didn't want the song to be too dark. So at the end, then Julie came up. Julie likes to brighten up a lot of songs. You haven't noticed that yet, but at the end, she came up with the idea of, well, let's end it on a bright note, because it's kind of goes from light to dark, and ends light at the end.
All right, excellent. Well, let's hear that song next. This is Joy Regime performing Curtain of Light.
Gray clouds drifting towards the fleeting curtain of light. Night falls swiftly, fills the void, disquiets the mind. but your debts remain. But who's to blame for all those irrational fears? As the morning dawns, you struggle on with the hope of a new thoughts, they come, they go, and for all we know, all is as it should be.
Well, how did this name Joy Regime come about? What was its kind of genesis? And then over the period that your band has been together, how has that evolved and how is that theme carried forward?
I'll speak on that one. Julie suggested joy. And at first I thought it was kind of trite. So I'm thinking, what could we put with joy? And again, because of things happening in the world, I thought, well, in contrast to joy, regime would be great, because then I can use the military symbol and incorporate that into the heart of the logo. So that's how it came up.
But you did it inverted.
I
'Cause
did.
We didn't want. Why did you do it inverted? We just didn't really want anybody to think that there was a fascist, element to anything.
Well, it's just so the heart would fit in there.
Oh, that was the reason.
Yes, that was the intent behind the
Learn something
design.
new.
I think Julie's idea with the joy, the way I remember it, is that a lot of our songs do have a positive message, and we are about, having fun and spreading, good positive messages through our songs, and so I think that was why.
Well, and
Joy
the other
name really
the other
stuck.
part was that every time I got on the internet to do searches, because I wanted something very unique. There is no other Joy Regime in the world. The only thing that even comes close to us is Joy Division, and it's great to be identifiable when people are looking you up.
Terrific,
So.
terrific. What experience did each of you have prior to joining this band? Can we just go down the line, starting with you, Julie?
Yeah, boy, I started playing music when I was a kid, and I was a solo artist. For about I picked up a guitar. About 6 months later, I got asked to open for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band for the festival in Sandpoint, Idaho. And I had never even been out in front of people before, so I was like, okay. So, and then I was in a duo for about 19 years before I met Chuck. I stopped playing music for about 3 years just to take a little break, and then Chuck and I met up.
I've been playing since I was about 4 years old. Started playing professionally at 15, and I was born in the 1900s. Doesn't that sound good? But yeah, so I've been playing pretty much my entire life, and so all those experiences have just helped solidify this group.
I've been playing since I was 13. It was kind of a spur of the moment when I initially did. My father, uniquely enough, he got me into a lot of 90s punk rock, to say the least, and that was angsty enough for my 13-year-old self to pick up some sticks. And through that, I joined the marching band through school, took a lot of music classes, had wonderful, wonderful teachers, and after all that's said and done, I mean, everyone needs a drummer eventually. So, I got a lot of experience quick enough, met a lot of people, and I ended up here, thankfully.
My first instrument's the piano. I've been playing piano since I was maybe 5 years old, and played for probably 8 or 10 years before I ever picked up the guitar, because my mom was a piano player and my sister, so we had a lot of piano stuff going on at home. But kind of took to the guitar as a teenager and played in a lot of different types of bands, from heavy metal to jazz, and really enjoy the kind of music we make, where we can, like I mentioned earlier, meld some of the different styles together and come up with our own unique sound.
That's terrific. Well, where is information found about Joy Regime?
Well, we have our website, joyregimeBand.com, so that you can go there. And actually, we have a couple of links, I believe, correct, Mark, I think? Mark is the one that works with that website.
Yeah, you can find all of our shows on there, upcoming shows, and also links to our Spotify, music that's out on Spotify. We have music on all the major streaming platforms, if folks want to go give that a listen.
And we decided that we just actually got our CDs put together for this next coming season for performing. We keep on getting asked for CDs, and we didn't think people really used CDs anymore, but they wanted them, so we ran about 100 of them. And then we're going to be putting together a vinyl record, too, of the songs that we have recorded.
All right, terrific. Well, I want to thank each of you for being on the show. We've had Julie Williams, Chuck Curry, Kevin Haregrove, and Mark River of the band of Joy Regime. As we thank them, we'd also like to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to Voices of the Community. It's been our pleasure to present the band Joy Regime to you today, and we hope that you'll tune in again next time. My name is Mitch Priestley. I've been your host, and we'll see you next time.